Welcome to my view. Today, I'd like to talk to you about assurance. You are not alone. It is true that we now live in a world that has become a village with the use of the internet, and you are likely to feel as though you're not alone. That is in some cases where there is no need for physical presence of people, and you will know that is true when you find yourself in situations of life that calls for support from people. I'm sure nothing gladdens your heart than to know that you have people who can support you in time of need. I do not think there is any doubt that people can disappoint you, and in some cases, you might feel rejected or you actually got rejected. I'm here to tell you that you have assurance. Yes, there is assurance for you regardless of where you are, what you are going through, and no matter what may happen to you. Assurance, as defined by Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is the act or action of assuring someone or something, such as pledged or guaranteed. If you do not know whether you have assurance, I want you to know today that there is assurance for you. Also, it is not enough to know that you have assurance without knowing how to make use of it. The assurance I'm speaking about today is not in the abstract because it is a clear message in the Bible with people who have enjoyed this assurance. However, keep in mind that obedience is the key when it comes to enjoying uncommon blessings. Here is what the Bible says. When you pass through the water, I will be with you, and through the river, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flames scorch you. That is Isaiah 43 verse 2. Here is the promise of God for his people in time of difficulty or suffering. God promises presence. I do not know about you, but I cannot trade God's presence for anything. No matter your circumstances, when you love, when you obey, and when you trust God, you will enjoy his presence. God's presence is all you need, is all that matters. When difficulties come and in time of suffering, do not become perplexed, instead trust God. Moses is a good example. God promised Moses his presence in Exodus chapter 33 verse 12 to 23. When Moses was concerned as to whom the Lord will send with him because the Lord has commanded him to lead his people. When you read the verse 14 of Exodus chapter 33, the Bible says, He, that is God, said, my presence will go with you and I will give you rest. What about Joseph actually? Despite all that happened to him, his brother hated him, he was sold into slavery, thrown into jail, things like that. Yet God's presence was with him. So God's presence made all the difference. So you are not alone and you have assurance. So no matter the event or circumstances, the presence of the Lord is with you and you have the assurance that all is well. Remember, you are not created by accident. Therefore, whatever happens to you in life is not coincidental. It happens on purpose. Our Bible says in Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, before I formed you in the womb, I know you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations. Do not be the one to hinder the presence of God in your life. Do not live outside of God's plan. Do not live outside of God's protection. Do not engage in sin. First John chapter 3 verse 9 says, whoever has been born of God that does not sin, for his seed, that is the DNA of God, the seed of God, remains in him. The chromosome of God remains in him, and he cannot sin because he has been born of God. Do not intentionally, consciously, and habitually practice sin, because sin will not allow you to enjoy the presence of God. And just for you to know that God's eyes are too pure to behold evil. That is Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 13. So the assurance you and I have is the promise of God. It's his presence that he has promised us, and we should do everything to ensure that we are not out of God's plan for our life. That's all I have for you this week. Again, this is My View with Solomon Oluwabiyi. Thank you, and have a wonderful week.